But yeah, we are back, and like we had agreed on last time, I think we just roll right into the fights. Not really waste time talking about last weekend. We all know what happened last weekend. I already made a video on my TikTok, so if you miss it, check out the old TikTok or Instagram. But yeah, dude, pretty solid fight night card last week, and we're rolling right back into the Apex. And this card is definitely a little interesting as terms like when it comes to talent. I'm looking forward to 4 fights on this card. Like actually gonna sit down and really enjoy. Other than that, it gets dicey. But we'll start it off right away. Muhammad Usman versus Mick Parkin. One of the fights I'm actually looking forward to, and they get you tuned in right away. So Mick Parkin's coming in as a minus 150 favorite to Muhammad Usman, and Muhammad Usman, I think a lot of people are picking him because they just know the name. But also a lot of people know Mick Parkin, who he is. So I'm going to start off with Mick Parkin as the favorite. He's going to be 2 inches taller. They're going to share the same reach. But Mick Parkin's undefeated. And I literally think it comes down to this. If Mick Parkin can grapple with him and control him and keep Muhammad Usman kind of guessing and tire out slightly, because that's what Usman does. He's got massive power, but he tends to miss punches and kind of gas. If Mick Parkin can just hold on him and just wear on him and hit him with the big shots like he did at Jamal Pogues and his last fighter, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. But really, I'm gonna pick Mick Parkin in this fight. I think it's gonna be really close. If Muhammad Usman wins this fight, it's by like first round or second round knockout. I'm actually looking forward to this fight. Mick Parkin's a solid, undefeated heavyweight, dude.
Yeah, I like it. He's never lost a fight. That dude is. Yeah, I didn't know anything about him. I was gonna go with Usman, but I think it's gonna be a really close, good fight. Good one to start out the prelims with.
Yeah, and I honestly, yeah, Mick Parkin's going in one of my parlays. I think it's gonna be a great fight. They might go all
Yeah.
three. This is a fight too where the money line for does not go the distance is like plus 200, and I could see this fight going the distance, bro. So this is like
Okay.
a little sneaky chop. You know those fights everyone always boosts up because they're like, oh no, these guys hit really hard, or because Usman does, and so does Mick Parkin. But personally, I see Mick Parkin just kind of wearing on him and tiring him out to the point where Muhammad Usman's gonna be winging big shots and he might connect a few. Um, it's gonna be a hell of a fight, dude. Good fight to start off
Hmm.
the card, though, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight. I'll definitely be tuning in right at 6 o'clock. So move on to the next fight. Truly not going to say much about this fight, although they both these young guys are undefeated. One's 20 years old, the other one's 25. Igor's going to have a slight reach advantage, and he's 20 years old, dude. Definitely some young prospects we're going to see, and definitely a smaller, not as many people in the flyweight division. These guys are 125ers. Um, I don't really know anything about these guys, to be completely honest, but they're both young, and I'm not going to bet on it, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it,
Yeah,
you know?
same. I don't know anything about either one. It's gonna be a fast fight, though. I can guarantee that. It might not go the distance. Maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah, no, that'd be a nice thing to sneak on, but like, this dude's 20 years old. I'll probably pick the 25-year-old. Um, it looks like he's got more fights. He's got a lot of amateur fights, dude. A lot of amateur fights. So his 7-0 record. I don't know how that's 7-0 because he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 W's in his pro results. So I don't know what that is. That might not even be. It says Spartacus MMA, so I don't know what's going on there. I'm gonna go with Lima and
Both
69%.
their both their debuts. Am I seeing that correctly? Both their debuts.
Yep, both of them fought
Oh, shit,
Contender
these guys are
Series.
young. Yeah,
Both
something
of
to prove here.
Yeah, both of them literally fought 5 months and 3 weeks apart from each other. 5 months and 3 weeks. They both fought on Contender Series and both won. The younger kid actually won by TKO. Yeah, I'm picking Lima, dude. How about you, for the sake of the show?
Yeah, just for the show, I'm actually gonna go with Igor, just because Igor. But I don't know. I'm probably not gonna bet
Yeah, I'm staying away from it. Don't know enough about the guys, but respect them. Definitely gonna be tuning in. It's where you grab a little fireball or a beer and sit down and stock up the old popcorn bowl. All right, moving on to the next one. We got women's 135ers. Daria Zelenakova. That's a
Dude, she looks like a
mouthful.
model.
I know. I was just about to say, is that a couch shot? Casting on the couch? Jesus Christ.
Hey now. Hey now.
And the other one, Rendon, is in the gym. She looks like she has a third neck. She's pretty tough. Another fight. No idea about these chicks. One of them doesn't even have a reach apparently. Like, come on. She's making her UFC debut, and Rendon has one fight in the UFC, and she lost won via split decision. 6-0 undefeated. I'm not gonna waste my time on this. I guess I'm gonna pick the girl with one victory, but other than that, I ain't betting it, and I guess I'll watch it.
Same. I'm not gonna probably waste too much time with this one. If I had to pick one for the show, I'm going with the couch model. Go with the Russian.
Coach Waddle, awesome. See, and then a lot of people are doing the old OnlyFans fade, where they're fading all these girls that have OnlyFans, and it's honestly like seemed to work. And I think Amanda Hivas, who's in the main event Saturday night,
Yep.
has an OnlyFans, and I already have. Even without that, I'm picking Rose. But anyway,
Yeah.
that's a real
What was
thing.
that fade that you said last week that you got correct? Was it
Mm,
shoot, I forget. Remember that? But yeah, the Russian, she's only 28. The other girl's 35. So a little bit of an age discrepancy.
yeah. What was I fading? I have to look at this now because I'm looking at all the results. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it. Corey McKenna. I don't know. She looked like she's like a innocent little girl, and she got ran through, submitted in the first round. Yeah, I don't even know, bro, but that's funny. I'll have to rewatch the show or something. But moving on to the next fight, since I mean we're gonna be split on that. I'm picking the girl with the UFC experience. You're picking the newcomer on the casting couch. Moving on, we got Steven Nugent versus Jarnio Aarons, and this is actually where it gets a little interesting. This one I'm all in on watching, and apparently all of Tapology is too. Holy crap, 90% of people are picking Nugent. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know. So we're gonna say Steven. Um, Aarons is a tough fighter, dude, but this is probably his ticket out the door. He just joined the UFC a year and 6 months ago and lost both fights in decision. Um, and now they're giving him this newcomer. He just won on the Contender Series. I actually watched that fight for some reason. AJ Cunningham, who just came into the UFC on short notice against Ludovic Klein about a month ago. When Ludovic's opponent got hurt, remember AJ Cunningham is the cousin of Bryce Mitchell. No other than Flat Earther Bryce Mitchell. Um, yeah, dude. I'm picking Steven Nugent. Probably not parlaying any piece here. So for a few fights on this card, dude, there's not going to be some bets for me. Not a lot of bets, but it's a card to sit back and enjoy. To start off, just watch some fights because these guys are going to be swinging. Like Aaron's definitely has power. He's knocked out people, and he does knock out people. But I think the 30. I mean, and he's younger, which is a year younger, which is surprising. that Steven's coming in on the Contender Series at 30 years old, but he has proven that he deserves to be there. I mean, I'm going to pick Steven for the show. Not a bet, just a pick, though.
No, I'm with you on that one. I'm gonna go with the Ninja as well. I think I might throw him in on a little something. I'm feeling pretty confident on him, and just with him working on that Fortis MMA in
Mm-hmm.
like Kansas there or wherever they're at, or I think it's in Texas. Texas that gym's out of. He's from Kansas, but the gym's out of Texas because he rolls with that Kennedy who was just on the last card too. I know they get some practice time in once in a while. Get the same bag underneath Coach Sahad. So I'm gonna go with the Ninja as well. Give me Steven.
Hell yeah, dude. Me too. And everyone, like I said, on Tapology is thinking the same thing, and he's a minus 220 favorite, which is pretty juicy now. Rose Namajunas is the biggest favorite on this card. I think Steven Eugene's second, and rightfully so. Moving on to the next fight. This is another one that I'm actually very enjoyed. I don't even know why I said that. Very looking forward to this fight because Miles Johns is always explosive and enjoying to watch the fight, dude. This guy, he comes with everything. Like, he just took his money or he trying to take his money. He used to be very just swinging from the hips, trying to knock his opponent out often and early, but he's developed honestly like a well-rounded MMA game plan on every fight that he's coming from. And guess what? He's fighting out of Fortis MMA as well. So we
Yeah,
got,
they're gonna be in the house.
yeah, dude. They're coming to take everyone's heads off. So Steven Eugene wins that fight. He gets Miles Johns all pumped up.
Right?
And Miles Johns, dude, his last fight, unfortunately, got no contest. He was beating up Dan Argueta. Actually, he beat Dan Argueta, but then he got popped for like 0.0001 tramadol or something, so a steroid. And now there's no more USADA in the UFC, so who knows? Give me Miles Johns on the good stuff, like Miles Johns can go the distance. Cody Gibson, I've watched him. I'm not impressed with Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson, all his finishes are out of the UFC organization. He has, he's on Ultimate Fighter, yay, awesome. But everything before that, like, man,
Lost to Brad Katona. Come on, man.
exactly. If you're losing to Brad Katona, you're not beating Miles Johns. And I know MMA math does not work. It doesn't work, dude. You can say, yeah, so and so beat him and this and that, but at the end of the day, you just it doesn't add up, dude. And it can be very frustrating. And this is where I'm not gonna say I could see it happening, but weirder shit has happened. But I got pretty high confidence in Miles Johns probably gonna knock him out, or just take him to a decision, just beat him up all 3 rounds. How about you, bro?
Yeah, I think John's gonna win by decision. I got him as well. Let's get them boys going. Let's get them on the party bus down in Texas there. They can drive all the way out to Vegas, put on a good show. After they all win, they're going to be partying it up in the casinos. So it's going to be great. And once
Oh
they win
hell
some
yeah!
money, I'm going to win some money too. So I'm going to have to do a little Fortress MMA parlay maybe with the two boys. We'll see.
Ooh,
Right now the site's got they got Steven at minus 180 and they got Johns at minus 150 and Cody Gibson at plus 115. So those will definitely change when you get closer, but might want to lock them in early, folks.
that's true, dude. Good point. And they on Tapology they opened up as Johns was a minus 125 favorite, and now on our site that we use, that's jumped up a lot. I mean, a lot of money's coming on Miles Johns, rightfully so. But we need to know this, or I forgot to mention this. Cody Gibson has been training. He's been on a full camp training for Davy Grant. Davy Grant hurt his neck, and Miles John stepping in on short notice for this fight. So that's something also to keep in track. Like, short notice fights don't usually work out for everybody. I just think Miles John's fought like better people and beat him up than Cody Gibson. But he's coming in on short notice, so that's something to just keep in the back of your mind, because I don't know if a parlay piece is super smart. Of course I'm going to do it. I'm a degenerate, but I don't know. This is one where I can see it just kind of the one spoiling your parlay because Miles John, like I said, coming in on short notice. Cody Gibson was training for Davey Grant, who's he's got a solid cardio, and he's just coming forward the whole time. I mean, Miles Johns hits harder. I'm still taking Miles Johns, and you are too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, we can move on to the next fight. Ricardo Ramos versus Julian Erosa. And I've won some money on Julian Erosa before. I had him beating Steven Peterson, which he won on a split decision. And honestly, Hakeem Dawodu. And that was a year and 6 months ago. And then after that, I actually did not bet him the night against Alex Caceres. Thank God he got knocked out in the first round.
Hey.
Brutally. And then I didn't bet him again against Fernando Padilla.
Who also fights on this card. He's on the main card.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. It's crazy how that all works out. That they fought 10 months ago, and now they're on the same card. Which is pretty crazy. Julian Erosa started as a plus 150 on Tapology here, and now he's at a plus 130. Money's coming in on Julian Erosa, and I think rightfully so. He's got the slight edge, looks about 2.5 inches at reach. He's going to be like 3 inches taller than Ramos, and he's also going to be 6 years older. Julian Erosa, here's the thing though, he doesn't have the best chin now at 34 years old. He's been knocked out twice now. His last 2 fights he's been knocked out. And Ricardo Ramos, his last fight, he got submitted. But the thing is, it's been 10 months, so he did the right thing. He hasn't been getting hit in the head. I do honestly think, though, Julian Erosa is just a more skilled fighter, MMA fighter, than Padilla, or excuse me, Ramos. But it's going to be such a close fight where it's another one where I ain't probably betting it. But the fact that I have some confidence that I just think Julian Erosa is better than Ramos. Tapology though says otherwise, and a lot of people are picking Ramos to knock him out, and that's what I'm worried about. Erosa's chin is kind of just gone, dude. You know, he's training at Extreme Couture, solid gym. Ramos is training at Team Alpha Male, getting a lot of wrestling in. I don't know, man. I ain't betting this, but I am going to pick the underdog and Julian Erosa. As long as he can get out of the first 2 rounds and he's got the better cardio, I'm going to take the guy that has more avenues to win the fight, and that's Julian Erosa.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to bet this one either. I might stay away. It's going to be a good fight to watch. I think it's going to be pretty close. I think he's just going to still stay on that losing skid. I think he's going to go for 3 loses here, Julian. So I'm actually going to go Ricardo.
Yep. I understand. Like, I feel it. But as for the show, I'll make that prediction. But I ain't betting it. Staying far away. I ain't putting my money. I can't put my. Here's the thing, though. I can't put my money on Julian Erosa at a favorite at this point in his career. But he's not a favorite. You know, he's plus money, so that's where it's intriguing, because Julian Erosa is like, he's sneaky off his back, dude. He's got 12 submission wins and 11 knockouts. Like, Erosa has power, but he submitted Charles Jourdain, dude. Like, Charles Jourdain is a solid. He's beaten Nate Landwehr, Sean Woodson. He's lost to like solid fighters. He's been fighting in the UFC since 2018, so he's been around the block. Ricardo Ramos definitely he's been around the block too, but I'm probably staying away from this, but I'm gonna go Erosa. And you got Ramos. Respect. Understood. Moving on to the next one. Trey Ogden versus Kurt Holiba, and this will be a great one that I'm looking forward to. Again, this is the third out of the 4. Excuse me, 2 out of the 4. Ogden looked really good in his last fight. He was beating the crap out of Nicholas Mota, which a lot of people think Nicholas Mota is a solid fighter, including myself. Beating the brakes off of him, sinks in a rear naked choke, and it wasn't Herb Dean, I can't remember the ref's name. Gets in there, stops the fight, and then calls it a no contest because Mota didn't tap, although he definitely was like about to tap, and he just stopped it too early, and he was beating the brakes off of him. We couldn't even give him like a technical decision, and gave him a no contest. So that sucks for him. He's back in there on Saturday, and the way he looked fighting Nicholas Mota, like if he can do that to Kurt Holobaugh, it's going to be probably a finish, dude. Probably a submission. I see a lot of people picking Holobaugh, and a lot of people I respect saying Holobaugh, he doesn't go away constantly in your face. But Trey Ogden also, got to remember, he beat Daniel Zellhuber, which Daniel Zellhuber, you remember watching him fight Prada a few weekends ago, beat the brakes off of him. And Trey Ogden's 34 years old right now, fighting Kurt Holobaugh, who's 37. I honestly think Trey Ogden's probably going to pull something out and win this fight. A lot of people are disagreeing with me, but I see Ogden's experience just probably being too much for him. But I'm not taking a lot of stock into it. I might throw Trey into like a $10 parlay, big sky's the limit type of parlay. But I could definitely see Kurt Holobaugh, possibly finishing him. But welcome, it's just going to be his second fight in the UFC. He fought Austin Hubbard. Well, Trey Ogden's better than Austin Hubbard, so I'm picking Trey Ogden. How about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of torn on this one too. It's a great way to end the prelims, I feel like, and get ready for the main card. Yeah, just everyone who Trey has fought just seems like a lot better competition. Just might put him at a different skill level, I feel like. Just those 4 UFC fights sitting right there. I mean, those are some good, decent talent. I mean, not, I don't know, decent talent. Like you said, Kurt only fought Hubbard, and that's his only kind of UFC win so far. So I like Trey too, but I'm just a little shocked at these odds here. So I might want to watch a little bit closer as we get time. Got the Louisiana boy going against Kansas City boy. So I don't know. I'm gonna go with Trey.
Yeah, well, we're siding with each other on this one, and this is another one. Just another fun fight to watch because they're definitely going to bring it. And it's lightweight. Love to watch the lightweights go at it. I'll probably be throwing Trey Ogden in a little parlay there, a little $10 or something. Moving on to the next fight, Pagila versus Fernando Padilla, which you had said earlier that he was in this card. Yeah, I think this is like a pick'em pretty much, and Padilla is a slight favorite, and I think he's just moving up. Let me see here, Padilla minus 165 on our site, and plus 135, so it's actually some monies came in on Padilla, and man, I just don't know enough about these guys, to be honest with you. Luis is making his UFC debut, while Padilla, this will be his third fight in the UFC, and he knocked out Julian Erosa. Like we had said earlier, pretty solid fighter to knock out. Erosa's chin's questionable now, and then he lost to Kyle Nelson, and that's not the best look in my eyes, dude. Kyle Nelson fights like that, though, once in a while. He comes out of the gates, and he beats the shit out of his opponents, or it takes him a while, and he just loses by points. Either way, I don't have the best reads on either of these guys, but here's the thing. When stuff like this happens, you always go, okay, who have they fought, what have they done in their career, and how the advantage size, right? And at least Paz the victory, like, usually doesn't win the fight. So I look at Padilla, and I see he's got a 7.5-inch reach advantage. 6.5-inch reach advantage, which is huge. And that's probably enough for me to pick Padilla, but I am not parlaying these guys. Another fight I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. I'm picking Padilla.
Same. Yeah, I am right there with you. He's got a little LFA experience. I like that. That always makes me fancy. I'm gonna go with Fernando Padilla as well. El Valentine. Um, yeah. Uh, yeah, that reach, that's pretty impressive there. My
Dude, that's what.
predictions are a little weird. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with Padilla as well.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't know enough about Luis or Padilla, but I do know. I have seen Padilla fight, and I had money, or I did not have money on Julian Erosa, and he knocked him out. The dude's slick boxing, and these are a couple featherweights, so it'll be fun to watch. Dude, 76-inch reach as a featherweight. That's insane. Like Conor McGregor has a 74-inch reach when he was fighting. Like this guy's got long limbs, so I think
Yeah, the only thing I'm worried about is Luis. Like he's got so many KOs in his background that like he might be able to sneak past his jab there, get up kind of close, and that's when he's gonna get the knockout. And I guess that's why the knockout is percentage so high right now. So maybe take Luis knockout like round one or two or something.
yeah,
Might be a little interesting. But it is his UFC debut. Those are always sketchy as well.
yeah. No, I like it. When tomorrow or yeah tomorrow when I do a little more breakdowns to see the bets or the props like by knockout and whatnot. Yeah, Luis might be a sneaky one. Or honestly, just pick this fight. Throw in a parlay. Fight does not go the distance because I think these guys are gonna bang.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. And yeah, like you said, we always got to watch the scales too, because I mean, after last week we
Hmm.
watched scales too, how different it made a lot of people look and seem and feel. I mean, that
Yeah,
one dude was just walking death.
Natan Levy. Yeah, barely could
Yeah,
even
so we
fucking
gotta watch
stand
the
up.
scales.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree. I'm looking forward to it. And then it starts at 6 o'clock. I'm probably gonna watch right down here because Emily's got her two friends coming over. So I'll probably enjoy it just right here. Probably not one of those cards. I mean, you've been getting together like every weekend. It's probably one of those cards where we just enjoy at home.
Yeah.
Unless
Yeah,
you're at
my
home and you
brother,
don't have anything doing, I can come over to you. But
no, my brother and his girlfriend are coming in town. We're probably just gonna watch him or have him on as background noise while we're playing like board games or something like that Saturday night. So yeah.
yeah, totally. We're on the same page then, bro.
All right, let's get to that main card, boy.
Yeah, main card Billy Quarantillo versus Yusuf Zalal, which is pretty crazy. Yusuf Zalal got cut by the UFC. Used to fight for the UFC, and now he's back. Um, really don't have the greatest read on Zalal, although I know he's very athletic. And now he's fighting at camp out of Factory X Muay Thai, and he's training with
Hey, Ms.
guys.
Meinhardt Smith is out
Yes,
of there.
sir. Brandon Royval,
Oh yeah,
Alexander
yeah.
Hernandez. There's some people there, man. Cody Brundage who's fighting Bo Nickel on UFC 300. Devontae Smith. So he's fighting with some dogs. But now he's fighting Billy Quarantillo, dude. And I'm gonna say it right away. I mean, this is another fight that it's gonna be sneaky, and it's like probably should be a pick 'em. And they got Billy Quarantillo as a slight favorite. Give me Billy Quarantillo, man. Very slick, elusive striker, and he's very solid. Honestly, you go to the ground, he's like, yeah, you can take him down. His wrestling's not amazing, but guess what? He's good at. He does not accept being on his back. He's always like getting to the cage, getting up elbow push, always. And then when he breaks, he's throwing a barrage of punches, and he's got a very good chin. And he is going to have the reach advantage. No, he's not. Sorry, Yusuf has a 5-inch reach advantage on him here. But Billy, honestly, it seems like he maintains the distance very well for the featherweight division. Like everyone that he's been fighting. Yeah, he fought Edson Barboza and lost, but he was doing well, obviously, until he wasn't. But I've won some money on Billy Quarantillo on the right reads, and I think I have a great read on him here. There's a reason why Yusuf Zalal got cut by the UFC, lost to Sean Woodson, and then Damon Blackshear was a majority decision draw, and then they cut him, which was interesting. Um, I think this is going to be a great fight. Like I said, should be a pick 'em. Billy Quarantillo is a slight favorite, which give me, I'll take that slight favorite on Billy Quarantillo, man. I think I'm going to be parlaying Billy Quarantillo inside the distance. Submission or knockout.
I like that. I like Billy as well. I just like the energy that he brings to the fight. I feel like, I mean, both these guys are going to be flying around in there. It's going to be really interesting. Yeah, if Zalal doesn't work his jab and use it very well, I think Cornell is going to read it really well, and his experience, I think, is going to shine through.
Mm-hmm. I like it, man. All right, moving on to the next
It's
one.
going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, dude. Great fight for the main card and great one for the next fight. So, Peyton Talbot versus Cameron Saman. And this is honestly high resolution prospect versus another high resolution prospect. Like Cameron Saman, dude, his last fight against Christian Rodriguez, Buddy has a fucking chin, dude. Cameron Saman looks like he's like 21 years old, 20 if that, but he's a fighter, man. Like this kid's actually really tough. He just doesn't look intimidating, and UFC has had some weird fights, dude. Like they had last weekend Christian Rodriguez versus Isaac Dalgarian, both prospects, giving them at a young age. You think you want to build these guys up like they're so good at, but UFC's kind of like, nope, you're here, you're at the UFC, we're going to give you a lot of tough fights. So Peyton Talbot, 25 years old, versus Cameron, who's 23. Peyton's going to have a slight 3-inch reach advantage. And I don't know, this one's really tough for me, man, because I thought Cameron Simon was honestly like the new 135er. And I did pick Christian Rodriguez to beat him. Christian did beat him. But he's got such a solid chin. And I could see this being like a spoil where Peyton Talbot now on our side is a minus 155 favorite to Cameron's plus 130. And like honestly, dude, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna parlay something nice, and this is the fight where I go Talbot in one parlay and Cameron Simon in the other parlay, just to counteract those. Because I think this fight can go either way, dude. Like Cameron Simon is that dude, that prospect that can spoil this. Like honestly, he's better at the volume. He does more volume punches than Peyton Talbot. He's fought better guys in his career now, just against Christian Rodriguez. If you don't think he's gonna learn from that loss, you're wrong. And I think he hits a little harder than Peyton Talbot. But Peyton Talbot's solid. There's a reason why he's undefeated. Man, this one's really tough for me. Ultimately, I'm probably gonna pick Cameron Simon, which is probably not the super popular opinion. Wow, Tapology actually 56% to Talbot's 44. Interesting. But yeah, dude, I think I'm gonna just slight edge Cameron Simon off the UFC experience and volume alone. And the last thing I'll say, and then hand off to you, we're at the UFC Apex where we just watched. I don't know if you watched Isaac Dalgarian versus Christian Rodriguez, which last weekend you had Christian Rodriguez. We can all agree Christian Rodriguez lost those first 2 rounds, and 2 judges gave it to him in the second round, which is fucked up. Yeah, he won the third round, no doubt, and did a lot of significant damage. But Isaac Dalgarian had like 8 or 9 minutes of control time. Just a 15-minute fight. He controlled 2/3 of the fight. I don't know. So we're at the UFC Apex. You got to remember that these judges want to see damage and volume, and I think Cameron Simon
Yeah,
has a lot more damage, not damage, but a lot more volume and a little more damage than Peyton Talbot.
yeah. Yeah, it's different. I mean, I feel like this year has definitely been kind of a turning point. Maybe even last year was too a little bit on the UFC. Just they're moving, I think, away from the wrestling a little bit more. Now they're focusing more, like you said, on damage and just aggressiveness, and who's going to be the Punisher, I guess, in there. I'm with you. I'm gonna go with MSP as well. Cameron, give me Cameron Simon. Yeah, this one's going to be a close one as well. Like you said, it's either going to mess up your betting or it's just I don't know, too close to call. And same thing with like the percentage predictions on there, they're just too close. The
Mm-hmm.
KOs are too close, submissions too close, decisions too close. I mean, if Talbot starts landing like a few jabs, you're gonna see those percentages change live so quick. Like it's just, yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a really good fight. But give me the South African. I'm gonna go with MSP.
Yeah, dude, it's gonna be a great fight, and I got to shout out the old diehard MMA podcast, Clint. I saw him put down another one of his max bets, 7 units, which I believe is $7,000 max bet on his site he uses on Peyton Talbot. Just seven straight up. He thinks Peyton Talbot's the new deal at 135 pounds. I think he's a solid fighter, but I don't think he's anything amazing. Like, he lost the rounds to Nick Aguirre, however you say his name. He lost the first 2 rounds, dude, and then turned it up in the third and got a rear naked choke. Nick Aguirre is not Cameron Simon. I think Cameron Simon humbles Peyton Talbot. We both do.
Damn, he
Probably,
must know something that we don't. I'm gonna have to watch some more, I think, video on Peyton, just because I like don't know anything about him. I feel like he's very like small town, like not known much about. Like he comes from a small gym, but he's never lost a fight. So I'm gonna have to watch the video.
yeah. And he is fighting out of. He's in Las Vegas, like straight up Las Vegas, and I think he moved. Not this Reno Academy of Combat. I think he's like in the best gyms now in Las Vegas, which could benefit him. But yeah,
He's only that Peyton has only had one fight go to decision. That was his Contender Series debut, or
yeah,
the Contender Series fight.
good point. It's gonna be a
It's
great
gonna be a
fight,
good fight.
dude. Yeah, and Cameron Simon has had 2 fights go to decision. Excuse me, 3 fights. He won 2 of them, and that's his first loss to Christian Rodriguez. So yeah. Moving on to the next one, we're both on the same page there. Edmund Shabazian versus AJ Dobson. Now I'll
I'm
keep
looking forward
this.
to this one.
I'm looking forward to it too, dude. Edmund Shabazian needs to get back on track, and I really do think this is the fight that the UFC is giving him. Like, yeah, you're gonna get back on track by us giving you this fight, because he's been fighting Derek Brunson, and that's no disrespect to AJ Dobson. AJ Dobson's gonna be coming to fight, and very well could win it. And this is the only way he can win it. I'll get there in a second. But Edmund Shabazian, he lost to Derek Brunson when he was a top 5, fighter. We just found that out later in his career. Jack Hermanson, always been a top 10. He just spoiled fucking Joe Piper's hype train. And then Nazardini Imavov, who just fought on our boy Tommy's card, who just beat Roman Dolidze. I had Roman Dolidze winning. No, it didn't happen. That's 3 top 10, if not. Derek Brunson was a top 5. So he's fighting the best of the best. And then he goes out there and knocks out Dolce. And then they give him Anthony Hernandez, who Anthony Hernandez is such a beast grappler. And that's Edmund's worst matchup as a grappler. He needs to fight a stand-up artist and someone that's going to kickbox with him, because Edmund Shabazian, think about this, bro. He's only 26. And the resume I just listed off, those are top 10s and 5s in the middleweight division. And he's 26 years old. A lot of room to grow. And the one thing he needs to be working on constantly is his cardio. Because that's where this fight, I'm going to say, is probably... I don't know. I could see it going inside the distance. I'm going to pick this fight does not go the distance, because Edmund Shabazian either knocks him out in the first 2 rounds, or he's probably going to get stopped. TKO or submission, probably a submission. AJ Dobson, I'm just looking here, likes to go for that submission. That's how it's going to go, man. But if I have to make a bet, I don't even know, because Edmund Shabazian, something's wrong with his gas tank, but he's definitely the better striker than AJ Dobson. But AJ Dobson looks to grab you, put you on the cage, tire you out, and that's literally spells recipe for disaster for Edmund Shabazian. That's the type of dude he doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want to fight a grappler. He wants to fight, like I said, someone that'll just stand with him and punch. And if AJ Dobson has a really good game plan, he's going to want to grab him and just tire him out and beat him probably by decision. But I'll slightly edge with Edmund Shabazian. If he this is another telltale, just like Jairzinho Rosenstruck and Shamil Gaziev when we talked about the first few rounds, because that was a 5-rounder. If Edmund starts striking him very well in the first round, and AJ Dobson goes for multiple takedowns and gets stuffed, Edmund Shabazian all day. He's going to knock him out in the first 2 rounds. But if AJ starts getting him down in the first round, I'm curious to see where the money line goes then. I'm sure AJ Dobson will shoot up as a favorite. So I'm going to slightly go with Edmund, but not a lot of confidence because of that cardio.
I think I might have a little more confidence than you, but yeah, give me Shabazi boy. I'm gonna go with him as well. This will be a good one to live bet though, I think for sure. So keep your eyes glued to the TV and get ready to smash that bet button.
Hell yeah, I like it. Yeah, I think the UFC is just trying to set him straight, stop sending him to the wolves so much. The kid's only 26.
But
Moving
like
on.
you said, just the talent that he has fought. I mean, yeah, look at
Yeah,
all that. Imavov, like you said, hey, you got that Imavov poster too, dude. So
hell
yeah,
yeah.
we get it.
I have
Yeah,
that.
it's gonna be a good one.
I have that in my closet, and I gotta hang it up with. I didn't even show this on the show yet, but the old Corey Sandman. I've had that for a while. Mac Miller poster behind me, but I gotta hang that up now that the old baby's coming in August, so the nursery's up there and moved downstairs. Um, yeah, Edmund's fought a lot better people, so I'm gonna edge out Edmund. But like I said, watch out for that gas tank, dude. Um, it's a problem. It really is. AJ Dobson has a better gas tank, which in hindsight, and then we'll move on. You always should probably pick the fighter that has a better gas tank. If they have cardio issues, you're like, stay the fuck away, or I'm not betting it. I'm probably not betting it. If I'm feeling really, we got to see the weigh-ins too, like we talked about
Yeah,
weigh-ins and then
he's worked
everything.
out. It's gotten better. Trust me, he's gotten better. He's worked out. You'll
No,
see it this fight.
I agree, and I hope he does. I like watching him. He's fun to watch. Thing is, if he's walking up to the scales like he's just dying, I mean, if your weight cut is brutal and you already have a cardio problem, I might be siding with AJ Dobson. Moving on to the co-main event, which is kind of gross to say, Carl Williams versus Justin Tafa in the co-main event of the heavyweight division. Pretty badass. So Carl Williams was scheduled to fight Junior Tafa, as we both know, and Junior stepped in on short notice for his brother Justin and fought uh, Marigo de Lima and got his absolute leg chewed off by him. And now Justin stepped in because he can't fight. His leg's so fucked up. And then, so now his older brother's good to go. He's stepping in for young bro. And now he's fighting Carl Williams. I think both of these guys don't do well against Carl Williams because Carl Williams wants to grapple you. And that's definitely not what Justin Tafa bros want done. They don't want to grapple you. They just want to knock you out. But here's my other thing. Carl Williams had trouble taking down Chase Sherman. Chase Sherman has 16 wins, 11 losses. Like, I think Justin Tafa would knock out Chase Sherman cold. Carl Williams went to a unanimous decision with him. Oh, this one's really tough because here's another fight where Justin Tafa literally has that one punch knockout power in heavyweight division. Yeah, he wouldn't beat like Cyril Gane. Like Cyril Gane ran through Tai Tuivasa, and that's what happened to Junior Tafa. But that example is like, superior footwork. Carl Williams does not have superior footwork. But what he does have is that wrestling advantage. And like me and you both know, when we're always looking at bets, you want to go with whoever has the best advantage at whatever. Honestly, wrestling, number one thing. Someone's a better wrestler, I genuinely side that way. But Carl Williams isn't like some standout wrestler or standout knockout power. Justin Tafa has that thing in the heavyweight division and in this matchup that has that standout thing. And that's that knockout power from Justin Tafa, dude. I mean, here's the thing. If Carl Williams can't get a takedown